everyone, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Angel and today I'll be sharing with you some more fun and simple DIYs. Before we get started, as always, if you enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and click that little notification bell so that you won't miss out on any of my future videos. For this first project, we're going to be using 2 of these little wood bunnies from Dollar Tree as well as one of these wood crates. The first thing I'm doing is just going ahead and painting both of my bunnies white and also painting that little wood crate white as well. Now, I'm not too concerned about totally covering this. I do want some of that wood to show through. And of course, you can paint these any color you'd like. Then I'm just going to go ahead and take some Dollar Tree wood glue and glue those little bunnies to the sides of my crate. Now to fill the crate, I'm just going to be using some of this Dollar Tree floral foam that I had. And I'm just taking this paper bag and covering the floral foam because I don't want you to be able to see it through the little holes in the crate. Once I had that down inside the crate, I just went ahead and used some hot glue, and I'm going to be covering that with some of this Dollar Tree floral moss. Now for this next part, I wanted to make some Mod Podge eggs using some of these little book pages that I had from an old book about gardening, and I'm just going to take those and rip them into very small pieces, and then I'm going to Mod Podge those to some Dollar Tree eggs. Now, I will say that at first this wasn't very easy, but I learned that you have to be very generous with the Mod Podge, and also smaller pieces of the book pages work the best. Just be sure that you are really coating those book pages with the Mod Podge, and you want them to be really saturated. I ended up making 3 of these for this project, and here's how they turned out. Then I'm just going to go ahead and take some of this Dollar Tree twine to dress them up a bit. Then I just went ahead and placed my little eggs in my crate, and here's how it turned out. For my next project, I'll just be using 2 of these little wood frames from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to go ahead and remove the centerpiece from these frames, and I'll be using that to cut out 2 pieces from a poster board that I had left over, and that's what we're going to be using in these frames. Once again, for this project, I'll just be using one of those book pages that I had, and also one of these little wood bunnies from Dollar Tree that I'm going to use to trace out my bunnies. Now, once I had the book page bunnies cut out, I went ahead and took some of my Waverly Antique Wax and just used that on the book pages to distress them just a little bit. Then I'm just using my glue stick to glue those to the poster board that I cut out earlier. Then I just replaced that little poster board into the frame, and then I'm also going to be using the backing still. I just added that in. Now, I wanted to give these frames just a little more detail and kind of a shabby chic look, so I went ahead and used some of this Dollar Tree lace on the outside of the frames. And you can see here, I'm just using a combination of some of my hot glue and my glue stick to put this lace on the frame. And finally, for this project, I'm just using some of these Dollar Tree buttons to put on the tails of the bunnies. And here is how my little framed book page bunnies turned out. This next project is just super simple. I picked up these little glass jars from Dollar Tree and also some of these little foam speckled eggs. I'm just going to go ahead and divide those eggs into both of these jars, and then I'm going to take some of my Dollar Tree floral moss and cover those eggs. Now, I did love the little wood hearts that were on these jars, so I'm going to go ahead and replace those with 2 of these little wood bunnies from Dollar Tree. All I did here was just poke a hole through these using a nail. This is soft wood. It's really easy to put a hole through it. And then I'm going to be using some of this little Dollar Tree string, and I'm going to tie those bunnies around the jar. Now you could go ahead and paint those bunnies if you'd like, but I did like the way that the wood hearts look, so I left mine as is. For this final project, we'll be using 3 of these little wood eggs from Dollar Tree, as well as 2 of these little bunnies, and you can see I went ahead and filled in the hole that was at the top on the ears, just using some of Dollar Tree spackle. We're also going to be using 1 of these little wood planks from Dollar Tree as well. Also for this project, I'll just be using these pastel paints that I had. You can, of course, pick any paints that you'd like to use. And I'm not totally covering these with too many coats. I think I really only did 1 coat each because I did want some of that wood to show through. Once everything had dried, I went ahead and took my metallic paint marker from Dollar Tree and just decorated the eggs. Then I just used some Dollar Tree wood glue to put the sign together. Then I'm just going to take some of these Dollar Tree poster stickers and I'm going to spell out bunny across my sign. Now, if you wanted to, you could just add a few more pieces to this sign and spell out spring or Easter or anything else that you wanted to. To attach my little sign to that wood plank, I'm going to be using some of these Dollar Tree wood blocks. You could use Jenga blocks as well if you wanted to, but I just used wood glue to attach those. Here's how my bunny sign turned out. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.